Well, Dale, it seems like, seriously, yesterday that you stepped behind a bench. Does it feel like yesterday to you?
No, when you do something you love, it seems like yesterday because the time goes quick. You're lucky to be involved in sport this long, and all my life I've been involved in hockey and playing and coaching. So it went by quick, and you enjoy coming to the rink. It's easy to have a great job like that.
Let's go back. You weren't too far out of playing, and you were looking to see who was going to be the next head coach of the London Knights. Mark, at that time, had coached with the Sarnia Sting. He'd coached in the American Hockey League, and yet it was decided that you were going to go behind the bench. What do you remember from that conversation that led to that decision?
Well, definitely, every situation is different, and we had to fill all the roles in the old rink where, we had to run the building also. So we just divided up the jobs, and Mark had some young kids at the time, and they were a little younger than mine, and so we said, well, I can do it. So and he said, I'll do the GM, and he'll run the building, and you got a full-time coaching job.
And when you stepped behind the bench, I mean, you'd had a lot of great coaches. You had a lot of coaches in your life. What do you draw from to coach that first game or those first few games?
Well, you do. I knew the kids before because I've been around, so it's easy that way. But, all I can say is I try to remember what I didn't like about the coaches. And so then I said, I'm not going to do that. That's not the right. It annoyed me when I was playing. But I was fortunate to have great coaches. Some harder than others. Some players coach. Someone pushed you to another level, which sometimes you need to be pushed. And I got pushed by certain guys. Terry Murray pushed me, put me on the fourth line when I was still pretty young, and just to push me and don't get comfortable. And so he got me better, and I ended up playing 10 more years. So, stuff like that where you remember that sometimes it's both ways. Sometimes you got to pat in the back, and sometimes they need to be pushed.
In maybe the old days of coaching, you could have a message, and you could stand in the room and you could deliver that message. Now, is it a message for each individual guy, or can you still have a bit of a coaching message, coaching philosophy?
Well, definitely it's come around. Like everything changes, and coaches' styles have all changed. And the idea is to get the best out of your players. And like again, sometimes you got to pull them aside. There's when you get out in a crowd and you get coach centers you out, that's tough on kids. So I try not to do that, but I put them in a group, so they always got somebody to fall back on. And going into the room, I don't dress the team. That's one of my things about coaches. They address the team after a game. We say we were really bad, and then he comes in and tears the strip off us, and then the next day he goes, we weren't that bad. We had a couple breakdowns here, but we weren't that bad. So I don't address the team after any game, good or bad, because you're in the heat of the action, and you go watch the video, and you say, most of the time you go, we weren't that bad, or the next day I show a video and I say, we were bad. So I wait till the next day.
And how do you find that works with the players? Any player ever say anything about that?
They were wondering at the start. They were waiting for me to come in, but they all know because, the kids just keep passing it down, what my style is, and I've never changed.
Building toward the success that this franchise has enjoyed, when you and Mark first purchased this team, you traded for the Peterborough Pete's cuts in a couple of cases. You had to make trades to fill your roster. You basically inherited an expansion team, maybe at best. It had some holes in it. When did you start realizing that something special was forming that first time?
Well, definitely, we had to fill some holes. They went for it a couple years before that, and you always drain your resources and your draft picks, and your young guys are gone. So it was a rebuild year, and definitely, we had to trade for guys from Peterborough for 2 players for 1 pick, and they give the kids an opportunity to play, and which is awesome. 2 kids come in and played 2 years for us, so it was awesome, and then just to build. And we knew we had something special in Rick Nash, and unfortunately he left early. But then we followed up with, the Corey Perry draft, and we had like 5 guys that we were bang on with, and then we were building for them when they were 19 years old. Mem Cup year, we were building, we traded for the Weidman, Dennis. He was very good for us. Should have won maybe the year before. We had a good team, but that's hockey. But it set us up for that Memorial Cup year.
And that year, that first championship in London, 40 years this city had waited. What do you remember about maybe that now, where you think back to either the final against Sidney Crosby or even something leading up to that?
We had a good team. We didn't lose to January, so you go through a whole fall and not lose a game, and that's how good our team was and how committed the players were. They weren't taking nights off. They were committed to win. So it's easy to coach a team like that and give it credit to, even the young guys like David Boland was only 18, and we got, we kept, the character was there, and everybody wanted to win, and the biggest thing is you always remember the last game.
A 4-0 win.
If you lose the last game, unsuccessful season. No matter what happens, you could be the Cinderella story, but at the end, if you don't win your last game, unsuccessful. So definitely going in, that's something that they won't remember. They will remember you got beat. They will remember all the things you did before. So you have to win one game if you want to be the elite.
That's tough in junior. I mean, you're winning a league championship, you go into a tournament style in the Memorial Cup, but you've been through both where you don't win that last game, but yeah, you do. How big a difference is that?
That's huge, and the kids are always disappointed because you don't start the year to get beat in the finals. So definitely, they were primed to beat, and especially had to go against a very good team, very good, just as good as our team. But we did a great job against the kid and shut down the rest of the team.
In junior hockey, things are supposed to be pretty cyclical, where you compete and then you rebuild and then you grow a little bit and you compete, and it's kind of that cycle. You've bucked that trend a little bit, where the London Knights are a team that is very competitive each and every year. What brings you to the rink to create that? What brings you out to want to, year after year after year, go for it?
Well, you definitely want to win and develop these kids. They come here and they play. Like, as much as we win championships all the time, I'm very proud of the kids that we watch every night. I think everybody watches all the players. I don't know how many we got in the National Hockey League now, but quite a few. And it's interesting every night to follow them in the American League. Some are in Europe, some are in CIS. And we're proud of all the kids that went through here and committed to the Knights, and then after went on and did great things with hockey, without hockey. And we got, every type of lawyers and chiropractor comes in and helps the kids out now. He went through the Knights, so it's just something that I'm proud of, winning championship, but also seeing the kids do well.
When you look at seeing the game, how much has the game changed in what you have to do as a coach to make things work?
Well, definitely, you've seen the game, the game's a fast game. We copy the National Hockey League, and the game is, fast and up and down the ice kind of game, and you better be able to skate and make plays and puck possession. And definitely, we have a team that this year even too that we can move the puck very well, and that's what we try to create, because that's what the National Hockey League is all about.
You still love it?
Oh, I love the game. It's lots of fun.
How many games do you think you watch in a week? Could you even count?
Oh, every day we're pretty much watching NHL games or OHL games, and it's fun to watch. Where we always try to pick a game where Chicago's playing. We got Pat Kane, or we got Corey in Anaheim, or you go through them all, or like Mitch in Toronto. It's like never ending. So Devo, and when Arizona was playing Toronto, we just glued to the TV because it was Devo and Mitch head to head. So lots of fun.
Well, if you look at the beginning of this year, there were 28 former London Knights. The average in the Canadian Hockey League tends to be about 6 or 7. So what you've done is absolutely incredible. Getting to 700 victories is absolutely astounding, faster than anyone else. Congratulations, continued success.
Thanks for you, Stubbsy. Thanks for everything.